Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 26th of November at around 11:35, and I'm about to go out the door because I have two doctor's appointments. But I want to discuss a very important topic really quickly. It came up this morning with my friend Bobby. She had an incident happen, and it made us get on the topic of women's health and gynecology. Now, I want to talk about the way us women are treated at the gynecologist's office. For some reason, gynecologists dismiss our pain while doing even a standard procedure. I believe that women should be given the option of being medicated while having these procedures done. Now, it's also been proven that women of color are not treated fairly. They are under-medicated and dismissed. I am speaking as a Caucasian woman. I am not a doctor. I am a patient. And I've been dismissed. I've been told, go home, take ibuprofen. When just 5 minutes ago, I was being cut into and I have severe pain. Now, my pain tolerance happens to be stronger than most, but yes, I still feel a lot of pain. And while I am on narcotics for my chronic illnesses and the cancer, if I'm having a procedure done that involves cutting or going in and poking, then I deserve the option of whether or not I need medication, sedation, or anything else. But for some reason, we are dismissed. I don't know why. It's even done by female gynecologists. They laugh it off. Now, let's pretend that they were the ones having these procedures done. Do they go unmedicated? I don't know. Probably not. But I know that I recently had a procedure done. I was cut into. As she was cutting me, I said, stop. I feel this. She made a joke out of it saying, oh my God, I've given you so much lidocaine. How do you feel that? I said, well, I do. Please stop and give me more. She did reluctantly and looked at me as if I was crazy because I was not yet numb. But I felt dismissed. Even going in for a routine pap smear, I went in several months ago for one, and there was a resident with my physician in the room, and she wanted to do it. So I get ready for it. She goes in and starts, and I'm telling you, this was the most painful pap smear I have ever had in my entire life. There were tears flowing down my face, and the doctor was looking at me as I was crying and did nothing. And I just laid there saying nothing. I should have stopped and said, no, I cannot take this. You have to use a smaller instrument or don't do it at all. But I didn't, and that's my bad. But the doctor saw that I was crying and that I was in pain and said nothing. After the procedure, I did tell the doctor how painful it was and that I no longer want to have any pap smears done. She then said that she would be the one doing them from now on, and she would use a smaller size, maybe even a baby size on me. But it's done already. What's done is done. And I was in so much pain, and she told me to go home and take ibuprofen. That's it. It should not be like that. We should be given the option of whether or not we need medication. Maybe these procedures should be done in an OR as opposed to in the office where they have access to sedation and medication. Or maybe they have it in the office. Some doctors do. Now, I know my case is a little different because I have an IV line as opposed to a regular IV. I cannot get a regular IV because my veins are crap due to my connective tissue disorder. So it's essential that I have my IV line because not only do I get blood drawn and medications given to me, and that's how I received my chemo, but I medicate myself through my line as well. Up until a couple months ago, I had 2 IV lines, one in my arm called a PICC line, and the one I have in my chest called a Mediport. Now, for some reason, my body tends to reject foreign objects, and the PICC line in my left arm broke inside of me and had to be removed in the operating room. I've had 16 lines. I'm on my 16th line right now. The one on my chest is my 16th. And this was put in prior to me even having cancer because my veins were so bad that nobody could get blood or medicate me or put a line in me. Now, I had a very scary incident happen to me once where I had my line in my chest and in my arm, but for some reason, the nurse wanted to put a peripheral line in. I don't know why, but I told her, no, it's not necessary. I have 2 lines that are working. She can use that. She proceeded to look all over my body with an ultrasound machine to find a vein. She could not find a vein. She then looked at my hands and I said, no, ma'am, no, do not do that, because I know where she was headed. Because I have a tiny vein right here. My finger is swollen. I don't know if you can tell, right here, okay? So she starts to go into my knuckle and I say, stop. She doesn't stop. She goes in. The next thing I know, my knuckle literally breaks in half and flies across the room. I am forever going to have a scar on this finger, and they were even actually talking about amputation because it was so infected. Why on earth did she think she could go into such a small vein? And by law, if I say no, she cannot do it. Also, by law, there is a limit to how many times you can be poked before they have to stop. Most places, it's 2. Sometimes it's 3. But I do give them the opportunity to try more because I already know it's going to happen. So I do not like the way I have been dismissed as a patient, and you should not be okay with that either. Please be your own advocate. Speak up for yourself. If something does not feel right, say something. Learn from my mistakes. You've got to say something. It's not all right. It's not. All right. I'm going to go because I've got things to do, to go see my doctors and give myself an injection prior to that. But I hope you guys are having a great day. And I'm sorry for the rant. I just thought I wanted to get off my chest. That's it. You know, because Bobby and I were having a conversation about it, and I felt as though it's important to discuss. Women's health is not discussed very often, and it needs to be paid more attention to, irregardless of being chronically ill and having cancer. Us women have got to stand up for ourselves. That's it, plain and simple. All right. Have a great day. Bye for now.